Okay, so first of all, welcome back to Slovenia.
Oh yeah, it's great to be back. It was my third time here at Metaldays, and I played Ljubljana a number of times. And also, I'm actually getting married in this country tomorrow.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, congratulations, man.
In the town of Govorili.
Seriously?
Yeah,
okay.
which has a lot of history there.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
Oh, cool, yeah. It's a fitting location.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so you've come back not only to Slovenia, but actually as a band, right? Because the future for the band was kind of unknown.
Yes.
Like probably a year or two ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah. So can you describe what was happening in this period of time with Warbringer?
Essentially, when one of the founding members, along with myself and Adam Carroll, John Locks, left the band, it sort of made everything crumble, and after Empire's collapse, we barely toured on it. The tours we did do, the last tour in Europe, we had a fill-in lineup. We had Blake from Vector on drums, which was actually kind of neat. But
that was the tour with Ice Turf, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we didn't even have a real Warbringer lineup then. We were simply putting a fill-in lineup together so that we didn't have to cancel the only European tour we had on that record.
Yeah.
And then the band did nothing for a long time. I had to rebuild it once, but the lineup wasn't suitable. After all the rebuilding, these guys, they weren't going to make the right record, so I have to rebuild it again. Fortunately, this time, our drummer Carlos Cruz returned, and having acquired a lot of skills in the in-between, and I studied music in the in-between, me, him, and Adam were able to write this record to keep the name alive, and to get some more tours together, get a new record deal, and now we're back with our strongest record to date, and we're trying to raise the bar for all thrash metal today.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so Road to the Vanquished has been released a few months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's, in my opinion, like it goes back to the first album. It's kind of a reminiscence to me, but it's also an evolution, a strong evolution in the sound. Would you agree?
Yes. Compared to the last record, we wanted to make a record that was darker and heavier and more brutal, like maybe the second or third record was.
Yeah.
But to have the same sense of progressive elements and melodic stuff, and to have it all at once without compromising one or the other.
Yeah.
And so the record turned out where the side A is very much just a bunch of bullets to the head, and it settles into the side B, which gets very more melodic and more dark and depressing kind of sound.
Yeah.
So we incorporate, I think we would call this record an extreme thrash record.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not death thrash, not black thrash, it includes both. But it's extreme metal, it's thrash metal with a very extreme influence, and from all sides of this, anything we like, we'll cherry pick it. And I think it's the most Warbringer record because it is all the elements that make us unique and special concentrated more than they have been.
Yeah, cool. Like I said, on this album there are many more influences from extreme metal than on the previous albums. Was that, I don't know, a natural thing that occurred, or did you plan on doing a more extreme album?
We did want it to be really extreme and just really hard, and to make a thrash record that makes other thrash records look soft. We want to blow everyone's head off completely. But I want to. Many people have a misconception about this. They think that we used to be pure old school thrash only. Even the first record, which is like the first songs I ever wrote in my life, listen to At the Crack of Doom and tell me there's no black metal on it. There's blast beat. So we've always had this, and we've just been working it into our sound in different ways. And here I think we're going like, well, this is a defining part of our sound. We're not only thrash, we're extreme thrash, and we try to do it with also with the solos having melody. So we also, in addition to going out of thrash metal to the extreme metal side, we also go to the heavy metal side, and with the solos, the structure, the songwriting, we're thinking about Dio, Maiden, and Priest, and what makes these songs so memorable, and trying to incorporate that into the extreme thrashy shit.
Yeah, cool. Okay. You mentioned like Dio and Maiden and Priest. Were there any other bands that you were listening while you were writing to the new album?
I mean, the same great metal records I've always loved. I can tell you some, for like Dio, Maiden, Priest, that goes to Saxon, that goes to Evil Witch, that goes to Legend and other obscure new wave of British heavy metal, Hammer, Contract, with all this old stuff I've loved. For black metal, Immortal, Bathory, Dissection, some of like Versum Philosophum is an album I particularly love. Yeah, I love that record.
Interesting choice.
It's not really for an influence so much, but Bathory, Twilight of the Gods, or Blood, Fire, Death, or Hammer Heart, you can hear it on When the Guns Fell Silent, and on the previous records you can hear it on tracks like Echoes from the Void, for instance. There's certain parts where we take nods to certain bands. We kind of try to make our own stew out of it.
Exactly.
But yeah, like the last song, When the Guns Fell Silent, is a real different song for us. Totally. And we were thinking along the lines of the big songs on And Justice for All, like the title track, To Live Is To Die, specifically that middle part. It's the best music they ever did. It's so amazing. And then
Justice is also my favorite album.
Definitely for me. And then plus some of like the epic songs on like Bathory, Blood, Fire, Death, or Twilight of the Gods. Some of the note choice too, very Bathory, and as well as the that one. And then some Iron Maiden for like the conceptual nature and the solo sections and the lead bass and all of this stuff. So each song kind of has its own story. We look at a slightly different set of influences from each song, but in total the influences are fucking metal, all of it. All the shit worth hearing and nothing that isn't.
Cool, awesome. You of course mentioned that the new album is really, really dark. It has some really morbid themes. Was that also, I don't know, did you have the music first and did you then decide on the lyrical themes, or was it vice versa?
Well, I think Warbringer's always been really, really morbid, and I think that's good. I don't want this to be happy music. I think the paradox about this kind of music is by getting the real, true evil and morbid anger that exists in the world and that you feel just by living in this fucked up world, by getting that out, it actually makes you happy. So this is fun music when you listen to it, but thematically, no, it's soul crushing, and it talks about real suffering and misery, and I like to use a lot of bitter sarcasm and irony, like the end verse in Shellfire or something. And I really want to go further in this direction. I think part of this is just me being a better lyricist, because I have many of the same themes early on, but it's more action movie style, and I was younger. I've been thinking about this more. I've been studying to be a professor of the historical subject, and I not only talk about history, but I talk about the philosophy of what it all means, about the greater destiny of people. I don't have a lot of songs that are about me, my own life. Hey, check out this car or phone or expensive thing I have. I'm trying to zoom out and look at people and talk about our nature. And one way to do that is war, but I'll talk about, Divinity of Flesh is a very philosophical song about our potential. Silhouettes is about what we have to fear if we don't do that. And then Remain Violent is like a modern day social issue song, just about how people fear the police now when the police are there to protect them. That's fucked up. So I try to tackle something that's not imaginary with every song, that's a different real thing to be angry about, because otherwise why do I sing like I do?
Exactly, and realism is always scarier than like fantasy tales, like George Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse said, our lyrics are not horror or anything, the reality is horror. Especially the stuff that you sing on the new album, The Great War and everything. Did you choose that because of your historical background? I mean, you had like Second World War themes in the first album, but now
it's always, I've been into both, and the whole, honestly, I'm studying to be a professor, and I hope to focus on everything European history from French Revolution through Second World War. To me, there's one thread that goes through all of this, and people need to know it, or you're destined to fuck up today. And that's what the first song on our record's about is
But we never learn from our mistakes.
Well, we must, because you see, one of the things about the Great War that's so scary is no one knew just how deadly the new weapons would be, and the human cost of that, and the actual visual situations you would get, literal walls of dead bodies as people who believe in honor and glory charge into these hopeless attacks where thousands of them are just mowed down, and they do it year after year after year. And because they believe in God, and because they believe in their country, and because they believe in nationalism, they put up with it, and they draw the war to its full conclusion, and then the world is never the same again. And what's the reward humanity gets for all this? A second one, even bigger, that ends in the Holocaust. If the lesson is pretty clear here, and when we have now right-wing nationalists all over Europe, right-wing nationalists taking power in the United States. And meanwhile, like the last people who lived through this are starting to die now. It's like as if now their voice is not there and we're just gonna doom ourselves again. But this time it will be worse.
Because the weapons.
Yeah, the weapon. That firepower kills. It's scary. You shouldn't be afraid of when you know bands like death metal bands will write about a serial killer. I'm like, that's a guy with a knife. If I see him coming, I could fuck him up. I'm bigger than most guys, you know. Like unless it's like a trained fighter, I'm probably good. But there's nothing I could do about an atomic warhead. Like I'd just be, you know, vaporized.
Like Steven Seagal from an action movie.
Right.
Okay, so we talked about this when the guns turn silent and Shellfire and also Silhouettes is about war. Are you familiar with the history of this surrounding area?
Very.
You are?
Yeah, it's First World War. I could probably tell you. I could probably talk to you from origins through each year, each theater, and I could do it all from the top of my head, and I could start at the beginning and end at the end and not miss anything. I spend a lot of time on this, and I have kind of a photographic memory for certain things. Song lyrics is one of them. If I learn a song, I never forget it. You could pull out Hell on Earth from the first record, which, God, I don't know when the last time I listened to it is. I know every bit of it. It pisses me off when singers have cue cards. So spend more time learning your songs.
That sucks.
You know?
Why would you do that?
I know your songs. Why don't you? You know. And then historical stuff, and then certain philosophical things. Anything I find really interesting, I just don't forget, and I have a really easy time remembering it. So it's something. Like I told you, I'm getting married here tomorrow. I'm getting married in Govorili, where the 12th Battle of Isonzo, aka Caporetto, was. We're staying in the house where Ernest Hemingway wrote A Farewell to Arms. He's getting married on the bridge that Napoleon crossed with the arm. So all of this ties together. It's all a thread, and it all leads to things we've experienced today. Each one of them is a part of our story, and in order to understand this, we need to break free of this culture of self-centeredness, of short attention span, of if you can't explain it in 2 seconds, I don't want to know. Because there is a story that's bigger than you, and your life is a part of the greater human story. And personally, I think if you don't care to understand that, I think you're probably pretty dumb.
Exactly.
Don't be stupid. Intelligence is more a choice than a natural trait. It's less you're not born knowing anything, so therefore it must be how much do you care to learn.
So, do you see yourself, do you see Warbringer maybe writing a song about the front on Socha in the future?
I try not to make it about any I try not to make it, when I write history lyrics, you'll notice there's no dates, there's very few names there's only one on the whole record for Done is in the Gemsfelsad. There could have easily been any other one. I'm speaking of the type of feeling that this creates. Music isn't there to tell you everything that happened. Now I could tell you that, but I wouldn't do it in a song. I want the song to capture how I feel when I hear these stories. You know, the horror, the sadness, and the disillusionment, the bitterness, and there's a lot of just sarcasm and irony that goes in there. And I read a lot of the literature from these time periods, and it's very powerful. And one thing I miss too is in this day and age, where the average person, when they send you a text message, you'd think you were reading something a 5-year-old wrote. You know, these people, there's like poets from the trenches back then they're like a farmer or a shopkeeper, and they write in beautiful, eloquent language, and they really express things. And something that was in culture where people felt this way and aspired to these things died forever there. And that's a powerful theme in and of itself. And if you ever read fantasy like Lord of the Rings or something, the idea that the magic is leaving the world, that's an allegory for what happened there.
Exactly.
Tolkien was there.
He was influenced by the war.
The dead marshes are Ypres. They are. It's a description of that. If you just take out the fantasy, it's the exact same place. And the author was there, so don't tell me it wasn't about that.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay, so the last concert you did in Ljubljana was fucking amazing, man. That was one of the best concerts. Not only me, but a lot of my friends. We talked about that, and that was completely mind-blowing.
Awesome.
I don't know, maybe I'll be completely wrong, but I see you like as a frontman influenced a lot by Paul Bailoff. Would you agree?
I would say Paul Bailoff I do like as a vocalist and a frontman. What I do like about him is the just sheer wildness. Now, in terms of his vocal technique, I think I was much more like him when I started, and I've since become a much more disciplined and tight singer. As he may have, had he done more records and lived longer.
Exactly.
I'm not really much of the like get wasted and party every night guy. I'm a little more focused and nerdy and antisocial. But I do really like just the sheer amount of energy he puts in. And I think even though I try to do something that's a little more cerebral and a little more disciplined musically, that what I do take from him as an influence is that sheer just raw energy, and I try to combine the raw energy of a guy like Paul Bailoff with the precision of like later like Extreme Aggression, Coma of Souls, Millipetrasa or something, you know.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Okay, I just have 2 more questions. You released your new album. How would you compare? Okay, we talked about that a bit earlier. But how would you compare Woe to the Vanquished to all the previous albums? How does it fit in the discography of Warbringer?
It's almost like a new beginning, because to me this record is everything we've done before, but condensed to a more pure and better version. It's kind of how I say it. It's everything Warbringer's done before, but turned up a notch and focused. We've really developed. The record doesn't jump around between feelings as much, nor does it stay on one thing. It has a very definite progression. We actually recorded this entire record ourselves before we went into the studio to record the one you hear. So we were very meticulous, and when we were making this record after a long hiatus, we know that this is either our best record or we're not going to make it. So we had no choice, and the next one I think will take the same attitude, and we'll encourage other bands to do the same, to really write from the heart and from the mind, and to push metal to the next level. Because for metal to stay alive, you can't always be worshiping the same records that made 40 years ago. I mean, legends never die, but go listen to those songs live now, it's not what it was in 9 out of 10 cases. And know that people aren't going off like Paul Bailoff used to or whatever. And, you know, people get old and people start doing it for a job, and people start charging their fans meet and greets because, you know, gotta pay the rent. Or, you know, if you're paying the rent, gotta pay more, you know. And it never should be about that. And the moment it becomes about that, you lose something of the spirit and you can never regain it. So Warbringer tries, you know, and we've always been underdogs, so maybe that's why we still have it. But you know, I really believe we'll always be a band that keeps this attitude, that keeps this humility to the fans, and keeps a realistic sense of where we are and what our mission is. You know, our mission is not to profit from doing this, it is to give to the world some art that needs to be done. And I think metalheads who love this music, they feel that, and I think that's why we get such strong reactions, is because people can see it and people can hear it.
Okay, so the new album is pretty fresh, but what is there a time frame for the near future? What you're gonna do? Record-wise, or I don't know, maybe DVD-wise, or something like that?
I think we're going to tour on this record and until the end of this year. Then we're going to maybe come back with one more tour next summer, hopefully hit a lot more festivals then. And then during all this off time, we'll be working on the next record. I already have a title and ideas for it. It will be related to this one as a very continuation of the style we did. Perhaps a little less emphasis on brutality and thrashing, and a little more emphasis on some of the to describe it no other way. And I think I'll go even further with the darkness of the lyrics, and to really attack kind of themes of people's loyalties to their own, like, God, country, family, and to have songs where those loyalties are twisted and abused, and just make it as soul-crushing as possible. To throw all the evil in the world of people's faces and be like, look at what we are, you know?
Cool. Okay, so what would be your message to your Slovenian fans?
I love your country. It's a beautiful place. You guys are great. We always play Slovenia because it rules. Thank you guys for keeping it metal. Thank you for supporting us, and we will always keep it true. We'll always be hard. And the band's called Warbringer. We're not gonna go soft and make a fucking groove radio rock record on you ever.